As someone who paid off over $35,000 of debt, oof, I thought I would share my 5 tips and how I got there, and I did it in just over a year. So the first thing I did was I made a debt payment plan. I wrote out all of my debts. I included the balance owing, the interest rate, the due date, the monthly due date for those bills, and then I decided how I was going to tackle them. So there are a couple of debt payoff methods. You have the snowball method, and then you have the avalanche method. I chose to go with the avalanche method, and what that is you pay off your debts with the highest interest rate first. So now that I have established how much I'm owing and where, and signed into my online banking, now that I know exactly how much I'm owing and where, and I set up auto payments towards my credit cards that would come out on my paydays. So I didn't even have to think about it. I knew that the minimum was at the very least being paid, and then I was budgeting with the remaining money after that. So this leads into my second tip, and that is creating a budget. And for the longest time, I just thought budgeting was for those who are penny pinchers or just simply didn't have much of an income. And I was wrong. Like, that is so far from the truth. I wish I had budgeted years ago, and to be totally honest, in my early 20s, I was such a finance little girly, it wasn't a problem. I won't get too much into it, but we can thank an ex-husband for this. But here we are. So budgeting is so crucial. What I strongly encourage is that you budget by paycheck. None of this monthly budgeting where you're budgeting with anticipated revenue. I think I can speak for a lot of us where we have fluctuating incomes. Maybe we have multiple jobs. I've always had multiple jobs. My income has always fluctuated, especially when I used to be a server. So budget by paycheck, take the money that you have and allocate it first to all of your bills, then all your variable expenses, so all your like necessities, and then anything else that you have left over, I would encourage you to put it towards debt. But I also saved a little bit too when I was on my debt journey. I desperately needed a mattress, and so I put money every payday towards that as well. Others may tell you not to do that, but you know what? Life is meant to be lived, and I felt I was tackling my debt aggressively, that saving a little bit along the side wasn't an issue. Third tip is to set money goals. If you're focusing solely on debt payoff, it can be super overwhelming. So if you set other money goals too, it can create a more balanced approach and shift your mindset from scarcity to abundance. All right, so the fourth tip I have is to have a mini emergency fund. I would suggest $1,000. That's a really great start. It can cover you if an unexpected emergency comes up, maybe a tire blows in your car and you need to replace it. Who knows? These things happen. So what I did was I made sure to set aside any extra savings that I could every payday until I hit that $1,000 goal, while still putting money towards my minimum payments. So I made my minimum payments only on all my debts while saving the $1,000. And once the $1,000 was saved, it was in a high interest savings account, I then started to tackle my debt. By having this mini emergency savings fund, it can really relieve that stress. Just honestly knowing that the money's there and something should arise, that you're not going to be going backwards into debt further, and you have some money to cover you. And then when your debt's gone, it's really great to start adding to that emergency fund, and I'm currently working on building mine up right now. And then the last tip that I have is to delay purchases. So if something isn't a necessity and it's just something that you simply want, I strongly encourage you to wait 24 hours. It's not going to kill you. You can wait, and you might actually realize that after 24 hours, this item that you so badly wanted in the moment, you might no longer want. So those are my 5 tips, besties. Keep in mind that the debt payoff is a journey. It doesn't happen overnight. Don't be hard on yourselves. Every little step is progress, and that is great. So stay focused, stay committed, and keep pushing forward because you've got this. Okay, bye besties.